trying to pay for something?
Somebody bought her a drink. She was trying to give them the money. He wouldn't take the money.
A 20 spot.
Yeah, the whole thing, if you were watching, it was funny.
All right, time for stories to start your morning. Late third quarter, big scare for the Warriors taking on the Rockets. Kevin Durant goes down, grabbing his leg. So the good news, this was not an Achilles strain, which is what some of the players thought, just a calf strain. He would not return, though. KD will have an MRI later today. CC, can the Warriors win the title if KD is hurt?
Absolutely not. KD has been playing at a level that he's able to allow the other players, they can't be double teamed. He frees up the court, and when they start to struggle, they put him at the point. Had him bringing the ball up, running the offense in the critical points of the game, especially in the fourth quarter. No, he will be missed, and his defense will be missed.
I don't believe they will. I believe they can. I think the Warriors are the only team in the playoffs that could lose their best or second best player and still be in position to win a championship. But I think the team that comes out of the East this year, Milwaukee, is too good, and they might not be able to get past Houston. The other element, though, is if this had been an Achilles, it wouldn't just be this season. It would have thrown all of the free agency plans into disarray. The New York Knicks fans were holding their breath as much as Warrior fans last night awaiting this prognosis. Long-term wise, much better to cap, not an Achilles. For the rest of the series, though, he's out either way.
All right, moving on. Big win for the Bucks last night. They took care of the Boston Celtics, 115-91. They finish off the gentleman's sweep. Nick, how impressive were the Bucks in this series?
Listen, they were impressive enough. If you had any questions about them, you shouldn't anymore. I believe they're going to win the NBA championship. They have won their 8 playoff games by an average of 20 points per game. They're not just dominating people, but 8-1. They're blowing people out. And they got Malcolm Brogdon back yesterday, which is just an added bonus.
Yeah, they've been sensational all season. I think there still will be question marks about them because how many real series have they won? You talked about Giannis potentially skipping a couple steps as a superstar, but this is a great team that's had a great NBA season. And let's not forget, Nick, how many double-digit wins this season?
Now they're at 52.
Yeah, that's a world champion stat right there.
All right, the other side of this was the Celtics, and it was a tough series for Kyrie Irving. 15 points on 21 shots to cap off a stretch of 4 awful games for him. All of them losses. 30% from the field, less than 20% from 3. Tough for the guy who wanted his own team. Here's Kyrie Irving after the game.
Truth be told, it's no time to be disappointed. I think that, you take your lessons, you take your ass whooping that they handed us, and you move on. I know I won't forget something like this, and the taste of feeling defeat in the in this type of style, being down 1-4, I haven't felt. So, for me, it's just moving on to the next thing, and just seeing where that ends up.
You wonder if that taste in his mouth is sour enough for him to come back and want to right the ship. Also, once you're down 1-4, you're done. There's no comeback.
Yeah, you're not down 1-4.
You're done 1-4 is what you are. CC, what did this year tell you about Kyrie Irving?
This is the most disappointing thing about Kyrie. And I'm all for players controlling where they want to play and what they want to do, controlling their brand, controlling what they want to do. But I'm all about, Nick, I'm about improving. And Kyrie Irving, since he hit that shot in Golden State, what year was that?
2016. June of 2016, Father's Day.
He is not as good a basketball player today as he was that day. And we're not talking about Chris Paul age. How old is Kyrie?
Kyrie's 27.
27 years old and not getting better. And now we saw him for the first time put in a full-blown leadership role. So his skill on the basketball court, I know people debate that, oh, man, he had one of the best seasons ever. But he's not a better player than he was when he was on that team, the Cavs, and they won the world championship. And I believe for every player, regardless of looking at this series, looking at yourself, seeing where your game is and realizing, man, how much more do I have to improve? So for me, with Kyrie Irving, that's what it's been. A guy that you can't say injuries have sapped his game, but his inability to be able to play only one way has limited his growth and potential as a basketball player, Nick.
This is a disastrous ending to a disastrous season. Kyrie Irving, the leader, had an awful regular season. Kyrie Irving, the on-the-court during the game player, was really good. Statistically best year of his career. He's going to make an All-NBA team for just the second time of his career. The numbers speak for themselves as far as what he was doing individually and assist-wise, getting people involved. But Kyrie Irving, the leader, was the biggest problem with the Celtics during the regular season. He took repeated shots at the younger players because he wasn't a leader. He took repeated shots at the younger players to the point where Jaylen Brown finally got sick of it and shot back. He made his pending free agency a much bigger story than he needed to when he was here in New York City. And he said, ask me July 1st. I don't owe anybody anything. And then Kyrie Irving, the player, fell apart over these last 4 games. So bad leadership in the season. Last 4 games, he's 25 of 83, 30%, as you mentioned, less than 19% from 3. I mean, last night, it's a 3-1 is you're in desperate straits. But you know who knows you can come back from 3-1 down? Kyrie Irving. Because in 2016, that's what they did against a team that was better than these Milwaukee Bucks. And in this game, you're 6 of 21 with 1 assist. 1 assist, Kyrie. And I think Kyrie can tell the story himself, Jenna. Just look at, here's about 5 to 10 seconds from Kyrie's post-game press conference from each of the 5 games this series. Just watch it and let Kyrie tell you the story of the season.
It's just one game. You know, we're not going to shoot as well as we did. You know, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I hope it does. There's no extra burden. You know, this is what I signed up for. This is what Boston traded for me for. It's really just about being efficient, especially the rest of the series. You know, from this point on, I don't think you'll see another 8 for 22, you know, or any missed layups or looking for the refs for calls or anything like that. For me, the 22 shots, you know, I should have shot 30. You know, it really not great of a shooter. The taste of feeling defeat and you know, in this type of style, you know, being down 1-4, you know, I haven't felt. So, you know, for me, it's just moving on to the next thing and just seeing where that ends up.
And Kyrie was right. He didn't go 8 for 22 again. He went 7 for 22 and then 6 for 21. And I think the story for him is he asked for something he wasn't ready for yet. He asked for his own team to be the leader of young players, and he just, unfortunately, was not ready for that yet.
Yet is the key word. That this might not be what he wants to do. He might now have to go pair with someone else and say, you know what, I'm going to spin this back. It was working with LeBron. I needed someone else there. I saw what it was like. I'm taking 22, I should have taken 30. That, to me, was the biggest example of this is all about me. I'm in here. It's not about anyone else. I got to sort of will my way to victory here. And see, we talked about this from the beginning with Kyrie. He started off, his personality was great. He was upbeat the beginning of the series, and it took a drastic downhill turn, and it turned into the old Kyrie again.
Yeah, Kyrie's at a crossroad as far as his career, because this is something that he put this in motion. He's the one who let the Cavs know, I don't want to be here anymore. The Celtics weren't on his list of teams. So you would think while he was there, he was going to try to make the best of it. And this did not turn out. And you could hear just at the end, he said, well, we'll see where this ends up. Not very, very positive. Kyrie Irving's played his last basketball game with the Celtics, something Nick and I have been saying all year.
As your guy, Danny Green, said, these Celtics, they are who we thought they were all season long.
Danny Green, okay.
I thought I'd just throw that one in there. To the Lakers now.